Tonight on Y News. Rescue workers begin their drilling operations at the collapsed grocery in Padada, Davao del Sur, as no more signs of life are being detected. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council confirms 7 fatalities in the Davao del Sur earthquake. Department of Science and Technology Undersecretary Renato SOlidum suggests basic knowledge on building houses must be taught in schools. 9 people died and 5 were injured in a deadly road accident involving 2 trucks and a jeepney in Cardona, Rizal. And famous Filipino-owned restaurant in Brazil, now in the Philippines. Good evening. Local officials of Padada have formally resumed their search and retrieval operations as no signs of life were further detected in the pile of rubble in the South Green grocery store. Rescuers also have started to drill into the wreckage of the grocery store. To give us more details in this report, Marisol Montano is at Vigo City Live. Yes, Marisol, go ahead.
Good evening, Diego. Rescuers are having dim chances of finding a survivor under the wreckage of South Green Marketing Building that collapsed due to the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that hit Davao del Sur on Sunday. Today, rescuers started to drill into the 3-story establishment. In a briefing this morning, Bureau of Fire Protection Regional 11 Regional Director Fire Senior Superintendent Fred Trajeras says there are no more signs of life being detected in the rubble.
No signs of life, no heartbeat, kaya ito na ang pinaka-ultimate and very remedy or means for us in order to penetrate whether it would be in the first floor or on the second floor. We are going to utilize the driller so that we can have the hole or passage. We can visibly see this might be body na nakita po ng ating machine.
Retrieval operations have commenced and the topmost layer of the ill-fated shop is being broken down by a hydraulic breaker to allow easier access to it. The body of the grocery salesperson Emily Beloy, the one who texted her friend that there were 6 of them trapped, was the third to be extracted on Monday night, the authorities said. Contrary to the initial information that there were 6 still missing under the rubble, Trajeras said they are looking for just 1 more. He stressed that all employees of the grocery store have already been accounted for and no other families reported that a relative remains missing. The earthquake caused massive damages in town of Padada. That's why the state of calamity remains in effect. The local government has called for support for the affected residents.
Ngayon, kailangan talaga namin first yung tent. Kasi magbigay kami ng tent sa mga, yung ini-encourage naming mga nandoon yung sa home base, bibigyan namin ng tent, bibigyan namin ng pagkain, bibigyan namin ng gamot, food packs, yun, kasama na doon.
The LGU has not designated any location for an evacuation center since the situation remains risky after shocks. Most residents are staying outside of their collapsed homes. They are asking for temporary shelters such as tents from the local government. Meanwhile, a magnitude 4.6 earthquake hit Davao del Sur just this afternoon. The fresh tremor struck 6 kilometers southwest of Magsaysay town at 2:07 p.m., PHIVOLCS said. It was a tectonic in origin and had a depth of 21 kilometers. The tremor was not expected to cause damage and aftershocks. Diego, as of now, according to BFP 11, while they are going to stop the operation and proceed on the demolition of the building. And that is the latest here in Davao del Sur. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Marisol Montano, reporting live from Vigo City. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council confirms 7 fatalities in the Davao del Sur earthquake. The agency will study whether there is a need to augment rescue teams in quake-hit areas. Arlene Delgado will tell us why.
death toll in the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Davao del Sur has reached 7. According to National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC, 3 died in the town of Padada in Davao del Sur after getting trapped in the collapsed grocery building. The towns of Maguindanao, Hagonoy and Magsaysay have also 1 fatality each. In Malita, Davao Occidental, another person was also confirmed dead. The NDRRMC is still verifying other reports on fatalities. 49 persons were injured. Meanwhile, almost 2,000 families or over 9,000 individuals are staying in 13 evacuation centers. 36 structures were damaged in Davao Region and Socsargen, including schools.
At dahil nagkaroon na naman ng panibagong earthquake, baka hindi na talaga kinaya nung building na sunod-sunod na strong abuse na yon from the earthquakes.
NDRRMC spokesperson Mark Timbal says rescue operations continue. He explains the team leader of the rescuers temporarily postpones the operations every time an aftershock occurs.
So we have to make sure that our rescue personnel are safe. Baka kasi if they're in the collapse structure extricating itong mga biktima, baka biglang magkaroon ng additional collapse pag nag-aftershock.
The agency is evaluating the necessity to augment rescue teams in the earthquake-hit areas.
Our rescue personnel on the ground ng local government ay doble kayod na talaga sa pag-ayuda doon sa mga kababayan natin. So what's happening now is ayaw naman natin talaga na sagad-sagarin yung itong mga rescuers natin.
The NDRRMC further assures sufficient supply of relief items to be distributed to the residents in earthquake-stricken areas. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Aguinaldo.
Aside from the fault from which the strong quake that rocked Davao del Sur last Sunday originated, other faults lie near the area, which scientists say can also generate strong tremblers. Ray Pelayo has more details.
Southern Mindanao is a place with different fault systems identified by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS. The Tangbulan Fault, which generated the magnitude 6.9 earthquake on December 15, has a length of 69.2 kilometers that stretches from Davao del Sur to Davao Oriental. PHIVOLCS estimates the Tangbulan Fault can generate up to a magnitude 7.2 earthquake. Based on the agency's record, from 1908 to 1970, at least 5 onshore earthquakes occurred ranging from intensity 5 to 8. To the east of the Tangbulan Fault lies the Digos Fault, which can generate magnitude 6.3 earthquakes. To its west is the Makilala-Malungon Fault, which is part of the Cotabato Fault system. It can also generate a magnitude 6.2 earthquake. Near the area is the Makilala Fault, Balabag Fault, Matalam Fault, Malang Fault, North Columbia Fault, and South Columbia Fault. These faults can generate more than magnitude 6 earthquakes. In October this year, earthquakes that originated from the Cotabato Fault system were recorded. PHIVOLCS says they observed faults that are considered active if they have moved in the past 10,000 years.
Overall sa buong Mindanao, itong Cotabato Davao del Sur area ay isa sa rehiyon na walang masyadong malakas na earthquake. Ibig sabihin may fault, naiipon yung energy at some point magbibigay ito ng ipapakawala niya energy kung kumilos ang fault. So mga strong to major earthquake events ang kaya niya.
Aside from damaged structures, one of the hazards that PHIVOLCS warns is the possibility of incidents of landslides in the mountainous areas get triggered by aftershocks or heavy rainfall. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The basics in building a concrete house must be taught in schools in the country. This is what Department of Science and Technology Undersecretary and PHIVOLCS, the officer in charge, Renato SOlidum, suggests. He says that in the National Building Code is followed, concrete structures can withstand even an intensity 8 ground shaking. Bernard Dadis explains why.
More houses were damaged in Magsaysay Town, Davao del Sur by Sunday's 6.9 magnitude earthquake than the 4 recent earthquakes in the region. In fact, over 9,000 individuals in 12 barangays in Region 11 had been displaced and now staying in evacuation centers.
sa pang-apat na lindol, mas dumami yung mga bahay na nasira sa amin. Dati, yung last earthquake ng 31, nasa 1,600 lang na bahay yung bumagsak. Ngayon, nadagdagan ng mga more than 1,000 or 2,000. Hindi pa tapos yung evaluation namin kasi.
Department of Science and Technology or DOST Undersecretary and PHIVOLCS Officer in Charge, Renato SOlidum, says that a concrete house will not be totally damaged by an intensity 6 earthquake if the National Building Code is followed.
Sa ating building code sa kasalukuyan, kung sinusunod ito, hindi lang sa disenyo, pati rin sa materials na ginagamit at workmanship o tamang paggawa, hindi po dapat ulat sa intensity 6. Kaya mag-withstand ng ating mga struktura ng intensity 8 na pag-uga ng lupa.
Since the October tremor, SOlidum stressed that PHIVOLCS personnel had been inspecting houses and buildings. They found out that a number of buildings and structures were constructed using substandard materials.
Isa sa problema yung quality ng hollow blocks. Quality ng hollow blocks po, yan po sa ibang bahagi ng Cotabato, tapakan lang yung hollow block sirana. Kurutin mo yung hollow blocks na sisira na.
Usec SOlidum adds the implementation of the National Building Code should be strictly monitored. He also suggests it is much better if students are taught about the standards in building concrete houses.
Ituro na sa mga kababayan natin sa high school pa lang, kung magpapatay ng bahay, ito yung basic standard. Ito yung basic shape para maging matibay sa bagyo at sa lindol.
If you want to check the integrity and durability of your concrete house, you can inspect it yourself using PHIVOLCS guidelines that can be found on their website. Just type "How safe is my house" and phivolcs.dost.gov.ph. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Caloocan City.
2 people died and more than 20 were injured after a truck loaded with sand lost control and plowed through several vehicles in Carmona, Cavite. While in Cardona, Rizal, 9 people were killed, while several others were injured in a road accident involving 2 trucks and a jeepney this morning. Mirasol Abogadil has more details.
A road crash in Cardona, Rizal involving 3 vehicles resulted in the death of 9 people this morning. 5 were injured in the incident. The police identified the 3 fatalities as Maximo Julian, 60, John Brian Madaya, and John Lester Lambrinto. Madaya and Lambrinto were both students of ICCT colleges in Rizal. The collision happened around 6 a.m. along the National Road in Barangay Look. According to case investigator Master Sergeant Lediboy Tamares, a truck negotiating the downhill road lost its control and hit head-on a passenger jeepney driven by Fernando Bandril and another truck loaded with sand driven by Ronilo Caballes.
There is a possibility po kasi po kung makikita po natin yung po tinamaan yung galing doon sa taas yung truck kung nahulog, tinamaan po yung poste po ng Meralco ay bali po. Malakas po yung impact po niya.
Bandril, Caballes, and his still unidentified helper were all rushed to the Carlos Medical and Maternity Hospital in Cardona. The police have yet to identify the driver of the wayward truck who also died in the collision. 2 people died and 28 were injured after a truck loaded with sand lost control and plowed through several vehicles in Mendez, Cavite this morning. Based on the Cavite Provincial Police Office's report sent to Camp Crame, the fatalities were identified as Rolando Ligsa and Roger Santos. Police said the accident transpired along JP Rizal Street in the road at Barangay Poblacion 2 at 7:15 a.m.
Yung pong truck na ay dala pong buhangin ay basically daw, based on sa driver, nagkaroon daw na loose breakdown daw. Siyempre, kaya po marami po yung naging saktan po ay araw po ng palengke ngayon.
The injured victims were rushed to nearby hospitals, police said. The driver of the 18-wheeler delivery truck, Romeo Sicat Sevilla, 49, a resident of Batasan, Matandas, San Miguel, Bulacan, was placed under detention by responding police officers.
There should be responsibility, di ba? Sa bawat pagganap natin, may-ari tayong sasakyan, may driver tayo, nagdadrive tayo, di ba? Diba? Hindi pwede kasing one way lang eh. Hindi pwedeng karapatan ko lang mag-drive, karapatan ko lang may sasakyan, karapatan ko lang magnegosyo. May kadikit na responsibilidad yan at dapat managot.
Police investigation on the incident is underway. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV News and Rescue.
In Thailand, among other countries, there's a creative solution to try to reduce accidents as well as improve road safety. 3D illusion zebra crossings are forcing dismissive drivers to look twice. Kath Dumaraos details why.
3D art has been of many uses in various aspects of life. And in Thailand, this zebra crossing is unique in a way that it uses 3D painting to be noticed easily by both drivers and pedestrians crossing the road. Such is the brainchild of Natapong Jarawijit, founder of a startup carpooling business in the Southeast Asian country, with help from Thai police and a private bank.
How can we do that the people stop at the zebra crossing, and I have to research, and I see the 3D crossing, and I think okay, it is a good idea.
According to statistics from the past 4 years published this month by the Thai National Health Security Office, there were 10,672 accidents involving pedestrians recorded in Thailand, in which 900 people died. Under Jarawijit's project, the first 3D zebra crossing was installed at Wat Bung Tong Lang School in Bangkok with the help of around 50 students and volunteers. Jarawijit chose to install 3D zebra crossings near schools to raise awareness among students about the importance of pedestrian lanes.
If we do this in the school, we can educate the student, and then the student can tell their parents, it is my area. You should stop if we want to walk.
Motorists and pedestrians alike commend the project.
Many drivers say they can see it clearly. It is the zebra crossing, and they will stop if they say this. Many people say, and I think it is good.
A 3D zebra crossing under the project cost around 50,000 baht or 84,000 pesos. Jarawijit's group targets to produce 100 3D zebra crossings. They also hope for assistance from the government to succeed in this endeavor. Kat Numaraos, UNTV News and Rescue, Bangkok, Thailand.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I am Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. The National Water Resources Board advises not to be complacent despite the increase of Angat Dam's water level. Lawmakers appeal to the government to help local farmers affected by the rice tariffication law and calamities. Malacanang hopes justice will be served for the Ampatuan Massacre victims on December 19. The National Bureau of Investigation arrests 15 Chinese nationals involved in human trafficking. And 500 residents of Kiaong, Quezon benefited from UNTV and members Church of God International's free medical services. Good evening. Today's water level in Angat Dam is higher than yesterday's record, but water authorities say the public must not be complacent. They still warn that water supply shortage may still recur next dry season. Joe Anano tells us why.
The water level of Angat Dam continues to increase. At 6 a.m. today, it was at 197.22 meters. This is higher by 0.55 meters than yesterday's record of 196.67 meters. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA says the northeast monsoon or amihan is causing such a rise of Angat Dam's water level. Based on PAGASA's historical record, the dam's water level increases during this time of the year when rainfalls are brought by the northeast monsoon. However, the National Water Resources Board or NWRB emphasizes the public should not be complacent despite this development. NWRB Executive Director Servilio David Jr. says Angat Dam has yet to reach its 212 meters normal operating level to supply the demand for water in Metro Manila and farms in Bulacan and Pampanga.
Nag-i-improve siya, pero sabi nga natin, yung improvement niya, hindi ho nating masasabing ano na tayo, okay na tayo, no? Para maging business as usual tayo sa paggamit natin ng tubig, no? Yun nga, sabi nga iba, we're not out of the woods yet, no? Sabi nga natin, at sabi nga natin, mababa siya kung ikukumpara siya sa mga naunang taon, no?
If Angat Dam fails to reach its target level until the end of this year, the NWRB says it is very likely water supply shortage will recur next dry season.
Pagka ganito, pag hindi ko kasi nakaka-recover dun sa target natin na 212 meters, then magkakaroon ng impact ito sa water supply natin, particularly for the Metro Manila water residents at kasama na rin po yung sa irrigation, no? Ng 27,000 hectares ng Bulacan at Pampanga. Baka magpapatuloy po, no? Most likely po magpapatuloy yung kabawasan, no, sa supply natin sa tubig.
Although the northeast monsoon will last until February next year, Pag-asa says the water level of Angat Dam might reach only 200 meters by the end of this year. The State Weather Bureau has yet to monitor any typhoon that might enter the Philippine area of responsibility. In case there is one, Pag-asa says it might affect only areas in Visayas and Mindanao. Johanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Several coastal areas across the country have waters positive of red tide toxin. These include the coastal waters of Mariveles, Limay, Orion, Pilar, Balangay, Hermosa, Orani, Abukay, and Samal. In Palawan, the Puerto Princesa Bay shows positive signs of the toxin. Red tide toxin is also present in the coastal waters of Dawiz and Tagbilaran in Bohol, in Irong-Irong, San Pedro, and in Silang, Western Samar, in Cancabato Bay, Tacloban City in Leyte, as well as in Lianga Bay in Surigao del Sur. The Matarino Bay in eastern Samar is also not safe from the toxin. According to the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, eating any kind of shellfish and anchovies from these areas is temporarily banned. However, other seafoods like fish, squid, shrimp, and crabs from these areas can still be consumed provided that they are properly cooked with the inner organs and gills removed. Some lawmakers deem it necessary for the government to support local farmers affected by the rice tariffication law and the recent calamities. The Department of Agriculture, meanwhile, says 3 billion pesos will be rolled out starting next week to fund the assistance to farmers. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
Several lawmakers call on the Department of Agriculture, or DA, to immediately provide assistance to Filipino farmers affected by the implementation of the rice tariffication law. As of last month, out of 10 billion peso Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, or RCEF, only 492 million pesos has been disbursed as assistance to local farmers, according to Occidental Mindoro Representative Josephine Ramirez Sato.
Halos galit na po yung farmers.
But DA Secretary William Dar reported to the members of the bicameral body that as of today, 3 billion pesos of the said fund is already obligated or under contracts for the support to local farmers. This is aside from the cash assistance to be given directly to affected farmers.
3 billion has been approved by the cabinet, which will now be rolled out starting next week.
Even Davao del Sur Representative Mercedes Cagas went emotional during the hearing because of the damages left by Sunday's earthquake, not only to the houses but also to the local agriculture sector.
Ganitong na calamity, unang pinipili, maski presidente ka o governor ka. Lahat kami wasap pati ang bahay ko.
Secretary Dar vows to help in the rehabilitation of the farm-to-market roads in earthquake-affected areas. According to Senator Cynthia Villar, the rice tariffication law provides for programs that will help increase the harvest of local farmers.
And that inbred seed will increase the harvest of farmer by 50%.
Senator Villar asked the DA Secretary to order the National Irrigation Administration to spend 80% of their fund to build more irrigation systems which local farmers need. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
Filipinos await the verdict on the accused in the Ampatuan Massacre to be released on December 19. Even Malacanang hopes justice will be served for the victims of one of the worst single election-related mass murders in the country. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
2 days before the court decides on the Ampatuan Massacre, one of the worst election-related incidents of violence in the country, Malacanang is looking forward to a favorable decision for the victims and their families. On November 23, 2009, 58 individuals, including 32 journalists, were killed in Sitio Masalay, Barangay Salman, Ampatuan Town in Maguindanao Province. On Thursday, December 19, Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 221, Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes will release her verdict on the more than 100 accused in one of the worst single election-related mass murders.
Well, the court will decide on the basis of evidence, so we hope that justice will be given to the parties, especially to the prosecution.
According to the presidential spokesperson, no matter whose administration, serving justice is of utmost importance.
Regardless of under whose administration, justice should always prevail.
Panelo used to be one of the legal counsels of Andal Ampatuan Jr., one of the prime suspects in the crime. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Surigao del Sur Representative Rufus Rodriguez appeals to senators not to set aside the resolution that amends some parts of the 1987 Constitution, but instead study the provisions. The Solon also stands firm the House resolution is not self-serving. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
With negative statements coming from senators that a charter change being pushed by the House of Representatives will be set aside, House Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Rufus Rodriguez appeals to senators to study and discuss first the proposed provisions before deciding to strike it down. According to Senate President Tito Soto III, the proposal is not a priority and the proposed changes to the 1987 Constitution passed by the committee last week will not get Senate's approval. The resolution proposes to amend 4 provisions, which include adding 2 years to the current 3-year term of the congressman.
I hope that the senators, instead of just saying now it's doomed, it's not a priority, should go into each and every proposal. Are they good for the country or not? That is the main issue there.
Congressman Rodriguez also refuted claims that the resolution is self-serving or includes personal interests.
If this is approved, it will only apply to those elected in 2022. All of us will go to the elections of 2022. We are not extending our terms.
According to the Cagayan de Oro City representative, they have consulted various sectors from different regions in the country to form the resolution. He adds that with the suspension of session coming, the resolution may be tackled at the plenary by February next year, which will be debated for around 2 months by members of the House of Representatives. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The National Bureau of Investigation files charges against 15 Chinese nationals arrested in 2 separate entrapment operations in Las Piñas City. The NBI also arrested a Liberian national in Parañaque City. Dante Amento tells us why.
15 Chinese nationals involved in human trafficking were arrested in 2 separate entrapment operations conducted by the Bureau of Investigation or NBI in Las Piñas City on Wednesday and Friday last week. The NBI also rescued during the operation 17 female Chinese being used in prostitution, whose customers are also Chinese nationals who are POGO workers.
Malaking sindikato yung pangalawang grupo na nakuha namin. Kasi 3-story building, napaka-tight ng security. Ang ganda nung arrangement dun sa loob. Kumpleto sila.
The arrested Chinese nationals are facing charges for violation of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. The NBI continue to gather information on other possible locations where the group operates. Meanwhile, a Liberian national identified as George Kennedy was also arrested in an entrapment operation in Parañaque City due to estafa charges. Kennedy pretended he had baggage being held in the airport which contained a big amount of money. He asked for help from someone to pay for the baggage. But one of his victims found out the baggage had no money inside when he opened it and so immediately reported to the NBI.
What I did is wrong. I asked them to have pity on me and I asked them to forgive me.
The NBI warned the public to be aware of the different modus operandi of lawless elements, especially this holiday season. Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue, City of Manila.
500 individuals became the beneficiaries of the free medical mission brought by UNTV and members Church of God International for the residents of a far-flung barangay in the municipality of Tiaong in Quezon. Japhet Cablayda reports why.
Jocelyn Bagunas earns 150 pesos a day as a caretaker of a tangerine plantation in Barangay Bihia, Chaong, Quezon Province. The measly amount is what she uses to buy food for her family, so nothing is left to spend to consult a doctor about a growing cyst in her neck. When she learned about the pre-medical mission of UNTV and Members Church of God International in her barangay, she grabbed the opportunity to see a doctor. Not only did she avail of pre-medical check-up, the volunteers of the medical mission also gave her the medicine she needs for disease to heal.
Ganda po, marami pong natulungan. Malaking tulong po rin sa akin dahil hindi na ako bibili ng gamot, hindi na ako bumabayad ng check-up.
500 individuals benefited from the free services that include medical adult consultation, pediatric, optical consultation, pre-eyeglasses, dental extraction, pre-medicines, and legal consultation.
Kami nagpapasalamat dahil unang-una, makakatulong kayo sa mamamayan ng Barangay Bihia, Barangay San Francisco, lalo na yung mga taong sadat sa pera.
Maganda na nagdala kayo dito no? Kasi yung iba hindi talaga nakakapag-check up. Kagaya nito, dapat dadalhin ko siya sa bayan para pa-check up.
UNTV and MCGI regularly conduct pre-medical missions and legal consultation in different parts of the country to reach out to our fellow men who lack financial capacity.
At sa pagkakataong ito, kahit ito'y liblib, kahit malayo ang inyong lugar, basta't kayang maabot pa ng UNTV at ng programa ng Kuya Daniel, ay gagawa natin ng paraan. At syempre, hindi natin itong maisasagawa kung hindi tayo tutulungan ng Diyos. Kaya nagpapasalamat tayo sa Diyos sa pagbibigay niya sa atin ng pagkakataon at gayon din naman sa mga kapatid na nagtutulong-tulong para maisagawa itong ganitong gampanin.
Maraming nagiging medical mission pero iba yung yung UNTV kumbaga kompleto sila. Kompleto sa mga volunteer, madaming volunteer. Maraming salamat sa UNTV.
Japet Kablayda, UNTV News and Rescue, Chaong, Quezon.
And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP released today the new 20 peso coin that would gradually replace the 20 peso generation currency banknotes. The BSP said the new 20 peso coin retains major elements of the 20 peso banknote, which features the first president of the Philippine Commonwealth, Manuel L. Quezon, on the front side and BSP logo and the Malacanang Palace on the reverse side. The new coin also has bicolor, which the central bank said could make it easily distinguishable from other coins in the NGC coin series. Citing a study by the University of the Philippines, the central bank explained that the 20 peso banknote is the most used denomination for payment, so it is easily rendered unfit for circulation and returned to the BSP for replacement. The BSP also launched today an enhanced 5 peso coin, which now features 9 sides to make it more distinct from other denominations in the NGC coin series. The 5 peso coin also retains the image of Filipino hero Andres Bonifacio on the reverse side, as well as the security features of the round coin, including the microprints Republika ng Pilipinas and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the BSP said. The new 20 peso coin is now the highest denomination in the NGC coin series, launched in 2018. It will be released in circulation in 2020. Meanwhile, the deployment of Filipino workers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia may be scaled down next year. The scaling down of the OFW deployment to the KSA may affect new applicants for household and skilled worker positions. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
The Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE reports that since 2016, some 13,000 repatriates from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are with unpaid claims reaching more than 4 billion pesos.
Their claim is about 4.6 billion. 4.6 billion.
And we got a report from our ambassador in KSA that they probably will not get any compensation.
To add to that are hundreds of OFWs repatriated from the KSA who have not received their wages since April this year.
They filed their claims, they won their claims, hanggang ngayon hindi na mabayaran. No less than our president sent out a letter to the KS King, pero walang action. So, yun ang namin, pag-aralan namin, and we will probably decide to scale down on deploy. The purpose of this scaling down is to call the attention of the Saudi government to what we consider as slow action.
The scaling down of the OFW deployment to the KSA will affect new applicants for household and skilled worker positions. DOLE also plans to scale down the issuance of Overseas Employment Certificates or OEC, especially to returning Filipino workers. But DOLE explains this is a case-to-case basis. The POEA governing body is set to meet to mull over the scope of the scaling down of OFW deployment to Saudi Arabia. The meeting also aims to set the date of implementation. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
And for the news abroad, Boeing will temporarily halt production of its troubled 737 MAX airliner in January, the manufacturer said. Production of the jet had continued despite the model being grounded for 9 months after 2 deadly crashes. More than 300 people died when 2 737 MAX aircrafts crashed in Indonesia and Ethiopia after reported problems with a new feature. Boeing had been hoping to have the aircraft back in the air by the end of this year. But U.S. regulators made it clear that the planes would not be certified to return to the skies that quickly. Boeing is one of the largest U.S. exporters. The company said in a statement that it would not lay off workers associated with the 737 MAX, but the stoppage is likely to affect suppliers and the wider economy. In other news, authorities in Pakistan launches a polio immunization plan amid the largest outbreak of the infectious disease in the country in years. Details in this report.
Some 260,000 health professionals launched a massive campaign to immunize 39.5 million children after more than 100 cases of polio were registered in Pakistan this year. The National Operations Center of Polio said that there had been 104 cases of the infectious disease that mainly affects children in 2019, a greater number than in the previous 4 years combined when 12, 8, 20, and 54 cases were recorded respectively. The agency's spokesman said that this year's figure is the highest since 2014, when there were 306 cases, and part of the problem in combating polio is cultural. Some parents would say it's a Western agenda to control the population, and some would count it as anti-Islamic. In late April, a rumor spread across social media that claimed several children had become ill from the vaccine, leading thousands of parents to flock to hospitals in the city of Peshawar in a state of alarm. After the incident, several vaccination teams were attacked, resulting in 6 people being killed. Authorities are monitoring social media so that new rumors do not spread. Vaccinators have suffered numerous attacks by fundamentalists who have killed nearly 100 professionals. Although these incidents have dropped in number in recent years, the army has been deployed in sensitive places. Pakistan and neighboring Afghanistan are the only countries in the world where polio remains endemic. The situation is so serious that in its last report published in November, the World Polio Eradication Initiative of the World Health Organization said national teams and United Nations agencies had completely lost control of the polio eradication process in these countries. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
A baby orangutan found in a suitcase in the Bali airport several months ago returned to its home island of Sumatra on Monday. The little ape will be admitted to a rehabilitation facility before being released into the wild again. Nina Armilio details why.
A baby orangutan that was drugged by a Russian who tried to smuggle it home as a pet will be released back into the wild in Sumatra. Andrei Zestkov, 27, hit headlines when he was detained in Denpasar airport in March and found to have the 3-year-old ape swaddled in his bag. Zestkov, sentenced to a year in prison in July, had packed baby formula and blankets for the orangutan. He was also carrying 2 live geckos and 5 lizards inside the suitcase. On Monday, conservation authorities in Bali rolled out a big fruit plate for fuzzy-haired Bonbon as he prepares to move to a conservation center in Sumatra, one of just 2 places where the critically endangered species is found in the wild. In March, the authorities described how Bonbon had been fed allergy pills by Zestkov to put it to sleep. Zestkov told authorities the protected species was gifted by his friend, another Russian tourist who bought the primate for 2,200 pounds from a street market in Java. He claimed his friend, who has since left Indonesia, convinced him he could bring home the orangutan as a pet. Orangutans are a critically endangered species, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, with only about 100,000 remaining worldwide. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
After its success in Brazil, Salute restaurant is now here in the Philippines. Customers even travel all the way to Quezon City from neighboring towns just to try its menu. Mon Hokson tells us why.
Filipinos can now have a taste of Brazilian food right within the metropolis. Salute, a Filipino-owned restaurant, has gained popularity in the largest country in South America with 7 branches. And on Sunday, it opened the doors of its first branch in the Philippines at Centris Walk, Quezon City. Customers will enjoy famous Brazilian delicacies such as costela beef, porchetta, lechon fernillo, estofado de carne con cerveja, and camaru con lemao.
This is the costela, no? This is the short ribs na niluto ng cook low and slow. So ito yung isa sa bestseller namin dito. Kung makikita mo mon, yung pagkakaluto sa kanya, pwede mong i-pull yung buto. Tapos pwede mo siyang gamitan ng kutsara. Pwede mong i-spoon yung karne. Ganun siya kalambot. Tapos eto naman ang porchetta. It's an Italian influence. Pero nilagyan naman natin siya ng twist ng Filipino. So we put the lemongrass to infuse the flavor dun sa porchetta. Ang porchetta kasi traditionally Italian yan. Tapos siyempre yung ating lechon pernil. That is yung pernil kasi sa Latin America, sa Brazil, shoulder, no? Pork shoulder. So yan, lechon natin yan. Siyempre meron, ito yung sinasabi ko sa iyo, Mon, na Brazilian. This is the black beans too. Ayan, no? Meron siyang smoked sausage, meron siyang yung smoked pork. Yan ang black beans too. Isa sa staple food ng mga Brasileiro.
Salute offers healthy foods because of the way they are cooked and prepared.
Ang mga tao ngayon, karamihan health buff, no? Dito kasi, merong mga pagkain, gaya nun, yung costela, yung mga roasting namin, yung frango asado, niluluto siya na tumutulo yung oil. So, nababawasan yung oil, nagiging flavor siya sa meat, pero yung mga excess fat, excess oil, lumalabas.
Aside from Brazilian food, Salute also offers different delicacies such as crispy pork tofu, chop suey, beef salpicao, chicken barbecue, pasta, sushi, and salad. Like in Brazil, food ordered in Salute are weighed at the counter. The rate is 1 peso per gram.
lalamang ito sa ibang mga eat all you can restaurant kasi isang family kakain, may anak, may matanda, merong mas bata na pagka kumain ka sa eat all you can restaurant, yung 14 years old sinisingil na ng adult, kukunti lang naman makakain ng 14 saka 12 years old. Tapos kung konti lang ang makakain niya, malulugi yung family kung kakain sila na sa tig-1,000 restaurant. Dito, pagka kumain ka, makokontrol mo. O konti lang kainin kong rice, o kukuha ko ng para sa bata, konting fried chicken, yung salud fried chicken natin, tapos konting sauce. So pag winay, yun lang ang babayaran niya, yung kinain niya.
I personally tried Salud's costella beef, lechon pernil, and estofado de carne con cerveja. The taste is just extraordinary. The beef is so soft, tasty, and juicy. All this for just 400 pesos. Very affordable. Some customers even travel all the way to Quezon City from neighboring cities and towns just to satisfy their palates with Salud's menu.
Kasi nakakain na rin ako sa ibang restaurant eh. Sa ibang restaurant kasi, para kang nakikipagbuno. Dito talagang napakasarap. Walang katulad.
Yung luto po dito sa Salud talaga superb. Napakasarap. Lalo na po yung lechon. At saka lahat po nung food nila, talagang approved.
Salud Restaurant is located at Eton Centris in Quezon City and opens from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Mondays to Sundays. Mon Hocson, UNTV News and Rescue Quezon City.
And those are the reasons behind the news this December 17, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo. And before we close, we will recap with the day's significant soundbites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
No signs of life, no heartbeat. Kaya ito na ang pinaka-ultimate and very remedy or means for us in order to penetrate whether it would be in the first floor or on the second floor.
Ituro na sa mga kababayan natin sa high school pa lang. Kung magpapatay ng bahay, ito yung basic standard. Ito yung basic shape para maging matibay sa bagyo at sa lindol.
Nag-improve siya, pero sabi nga natin, yung improvement niya, hindi ho nating masasabing ano na tayo, okay na tayo, no? Para maging business as usual tayo sa paggamit natin ng tubig, no? Yung nga, sabi nga iba, we're not out of the woods yet.
Regardless of under whose administration, justice should always prevail.
They filed their claims, they won their claims, hanggang ngayon hindi na mabayaran. No less than our president sent out a letter to the KS King, pero walang action. So, yun ang namin, pag-aralan namin, and we will probably decide to scale down on the blood.